安安，晚上好。肉色安安，海洋安安，面粉安安。现在用一下游戏截取。为什么没有？这游戏叫什么 ？AWC， 这个有吗？好，今天要玩一个。现在声音会很大吗？我有点听不太到好像有点大。好，你们今天要来玩一个有特价的时候买的游戏。我觉得它是修东西游戏，但是我觉得我好像误会了。我现在有点听不到声音，声音会太大或太小吗？音乐？因为我现在，因为我把这个游戏缩小，我就看不到这个游戏音量了。不是，我现在是这样。我在控制音乐的地方之后，想自己听都觉得它很大声。这样嘞，是太大声吗？ 它很大声呢，我自己听，我一直觉得它很大声啊。这大声什么啦？算了，就这样吧。然后这游戏是
After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between.
好，这个游戏是那个之前手机有出的那个纪念碑谷的那游戏的制作公司做的。
But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva,
应该是益智游戏
as
没错。
the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course, the forgotten treasures I'd given a new lease of life along the way. I'm a restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months, working my way from one town to the next, fixing everything from family heirlooms to VCRs. Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately, that would have to wait until after I'd unpacked. I picked up these sunglasses on my last stop. Hopefully I'm cool enough to pull them off. The tools of my trade. No hope of restoring things without these. My parents took this after I made my first repair. Seems like a lifetime ago. I'll hand these out once I'm settled in. Fingers crossed they get me some work. I saw a guitarist wearing these at a show once. Rock and roll repair woman, at your service. Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva. I'd come for the food festival, taking place in a few days' time. After living off TV dinners and instant ramen for the last few months, I was craving a decent meal. Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work. My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I knew there was a world out there, beyond the four walls of our antique store, that I had to be a part of. I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. I loved figuring out their stories, revealing the memories hidden beneath the screws and wires. My story in Bellariva began with a little girl, and a voice she was longing to hear.
这是修理东西的游戏。
It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking peacefully in the hot morning sun. In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time. As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. So far, everything here seemed perfect. I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around in her backpack until she hauled out a battered red cassette deck.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore. I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you try?
我是不是应该先打开它？
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing. Luckily, I have some spares.
然后把它盖子装回去。我先试试看再锁起来吗？哎、哦，现在有灯亮了。哦，我知道了。然后再来是这个。
Why did you do that?
然后这个，应该修好了。哎，还没吗？还没吗？哎，应该是修好了才对。哦，打开，关起来。
Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will always love you.
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing? They're very good.
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence a cassette tape would never be enough to fill. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo. I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered. Part I wouldn't be able to fix. My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing small jobs in and around the square. I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message asking me to make one more visit. The address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. Bathed in the evening light, it looked beautiful, in spite of its The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the office.
Are you Maria? My name's Joseph. I'm Isabel's father. I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without thinking, I picked up a fragment.
Ah, my father's statue. What's left of it, at least. Yet another way I'd have disappointed him. It survived 100 years in this family. But 5 minutes with Isabel and... Do you think you can salvage it?
饥饿安安，这游戏它还会有那个，就是声音讲故事的声音，觉得蛮好的。
Will you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks.
不要留下痕迹。可是我一开始就涂到外面了耶。诶，看一下，角角，这是身体。都要上胶水才。
Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label.
随便涂涂应该可以吧，不会真的溢胶出来。希望看一下，哎。就这个哪有这么简单？开始吐槽。
Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together?
多多安安，谢谢多多续订7个月。我要买我感恩节买的新
It
游
looks as
戏。
perfect as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself. He didn't have time for anything less.
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's mayor. And that was Izzy's mom. They must both miss her so much.
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things sorted for the festival. There's only a few days to go. Looks like I'll be working late. Again?
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way of pretending it wasn't happening. Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just hoped he was finding enough time for Izzy, too.
这么讲不会自己修吗？只是游戏很简单，做太难我就破不了，就卡关了。但是
My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful sunny morning.
是一个讲故事然后边修东西的游戏，然后游戏名称应该要打在标题。然后它是之前纪念碑谷的游戏公司制作的，他们才刚开始，就是说我们出发是一个到处帮人修东西的旅人这样。他们刚刚修了一个录音带播放器跟刚刚那个雕像。
Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers cradling their morning coffees. I stopped, breathing in the smell of roasted coffee beans and freshly baked pastries. I was about to go inside when the owner of Carmen's, the cafe next door, stopped me.
Hello, Maria? Were you here yesterday handing out flyers? I have a job for you.
他们讲故事的时候都有配音耶，我觉得这个很
Her
好。
place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging by the empty tables inside, though, her potential customers hadn't noticed it either.
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen chatted, she walked over to the counter and returned with an old rotary phone.
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on. I was hoping to call my sister for some seasoning tips, but it won't connect. Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong?
要修理电话了。开始玩之后又觉得音乐好像很小声，可刚刚在一开始的时候就觉得音乐好像很大声。我又调了大声一点。
You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
现在要转个方向。
Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this.
Oh, 拆下来了。哦，看到了，裂开的。哦，收起来。哦，拔下来了。电话键，是他们少了一条线，线是怎么被你弄不见的啊？至少也要有实体在里面吧。
There's still a part I need to attach. Where does it go? When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
这是修理东西的游戏。刚刚那个电话坏掉，就要把零件拆开，把零件换掉。转盘是复古电话。大乱的角色全部打，我有全部打出来啊。
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down?
Nope, it's ready to go. It'll be ringing off the hook in no time.
That's if I can pay my phone bill, anyway. And the rent, and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and I'll be right with you. Your coffee's on the house.
我不知道我花了多久。
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, Carmen had started dialing the phone.
Hello! How's my favourite sister doing today?
As she talked, Carmen became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some cooking advice.
I know I still owe you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end of the line.
You don't need to be here, though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry about that. My sister's decided to fly in for a visit. Oh god, I have to get ready. Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
等一下，他不是缺钱吗？他要怎么付？他都付不出来我修理的钱。他明天还有工作要交给我。
The next day, I'd promised Carmen I'd return to help her get the cafe ready for her sister's arrival. I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently, another guest had asked for me by name. Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked.
Are you here about the camera? It's about time.
The woman in front of me was immaculate. Not a hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix things. I'd usually go to an expert, of course, but in this town...
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have been more different. Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera. Any professional photographer's dream.
The viewfinder is completely dark. I can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong.
哇，天啊，它旁边出现一个小抄了，是不是很难修？相机不会有这么大的螺丝吧？但是他说有，我先转开再说。这相机怎么里面空空的？哎，现在还有个螺丝。
I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
If I used the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the mirror. Perfect. Now the viewfinder should be working.
嗯，只有我刚刚没有把镜头拔下来的状态，我就把它修好。它镜头应该拔下来嘛？但是我修好了耶。
Looks like there's still a screw missing.
故意少一个螺丝就不行了吧？
I felt a pang of envy as I handed the camera to Helena. I put my disposable to shame.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's a 1958 limited edition, the first of its kind. It cost me 3 months' salary, but it was worth it.
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was more than I could afford. It was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but surely she could afford somewhere better? She took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing. Sending you to me might be the first thing Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it's not a total waste of time.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
需要好相机哦。
The sun was setting over Bellariva by the time I reached Carmen's cafe.
修
From
这么
the
久，
outside, it looked as quiet as ever, but inside, I found Carmen cleaning like her life depended on it.
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of dust in here, I'll never hear the end of it.
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her mop. Trying to live up to the standards of someone like Helena seemed like an impossible task.
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious when it broke. I really need this to go well. If she doesn't lend me the money, I don't know how long I can keep this place going.
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign.
I had this made when I first opened the cafe, but I'm hopeless with electronics.
So there was supposed to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack of customers.
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it a try?
还要自己装霓虹灯招牌。还浇水啊？哈？哦，好，就这样。哦哦，对呀、而且应该要有怎么发光的零件。诶，这应该是放在这里面。不是吗？它应该是放在后面的。哎呀，哦，这个位怎么不是？我以为是装在那边。 哦，我懂了，这个吧。要先涂胶水，然后再粘上去。不是要拔起来，我觉得我接错了，拔起来了。这个太容易拔起来了，我只是想要换方向。哦，这是会亮的意思吧
Flat? Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
还
Great
要
idea. I think I have a spare part that
还要
could do
闪
that.
烁。它从哪里变出来那一根的？哦，他没有说哪里接哪里。应该不是这样。
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
你为什么不一开始全部拿出来啊？现在才拿出来。这个应该是装，不是跟安安。他没有跟我说他要开什么店。还没有考虑直接买一个吗？你为什么要自己煮？哦，受不了。然后再来是前面要装一个。
It works. I'll screw everything together again and you'll be set.
他有要这个图案吗？你是要这个图案吗？这个嘞？ 就他卖冰淇淋店，然后被我装了一个
I think it was to screw somehow.
披萨在上面。看过有人玩过，好像不是新游戏了，我特价时买的。
The sign fixed, we headed outside and mounted it carefully over the cafe door.
Oh, that's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all seemed so simple. Oh, I can't believe I might have to give it all up. I hope I've done enough.
The smile froze on her face as she spotted something over my shoulder. I turned to see.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town that isn't actually open.
For better or worse, Helena had arrived. Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently past her. Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen.
The first thing we're doing is getting rid of that hideous sign.
And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of saving the cafe hadn't disappeared with her.
我刚刚才修好，他现在要把它拆掉了。Game Boy.
It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. When Joseph called with another job, I was craving the cool quiet of his and Izzy's seafront house. I'd barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me.
Psst. Maria, I need your help. Quickly, it's top secret.
It was Izzy, peeking out from the side of the house. She beckoned for me to follow her. She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden overflowing with flowers of every color. Nestled among them was a playhouse, its doorway almost completely obscured by a towering rose bush.
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
Izzy took in a big gulp of air and crawled through the gap and into the playhouse. I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt today, but the life of a repairwoman never did run smooth. On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my parents' antique shop.
I had an accident. I didn't do it on purpose or anything, but it won't turn on anymore. Can you fix it for me?
屏幕摔破了，按键也摔破。这个怎么这么容易拆？他没有要我转螺丝了。是这样，要先记一下它是怎么接的。刚刚是这个交叉，然后，这应该就是这样。阿莫安安，你写续订6个月，我应该是这个吧？那先放回去，再来是上面这个，现在是这样。这整块都黑黑的。 哎，等一下，等一下。荧幕还没有换下来，荧幕是破的。换英文词典，这样他上课就可以。就可以拿来放桌上是吗？啊，是这个吗？哎、怎么被我拆下来？应该是没有东西卡住啦，我怎么拔不下来？还是我这边是全新的那个。再来是插卡带。这是什么卡带
Do grown-ups play games as well?
GB 跟 boy
Can you show me how to play? I tried before, but it was so hard.
这是 GB 吗 ？GB 的游戏。这游戏太几秒钟就破关了，这游戏不好。
Her toy fixed, I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a 3-inch world of her own. Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for me.
Please don't tell him about the game. He'll think I broke it on purpose.
Why would he think that?
Because, well, I kind of dropped it. Really hard.
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes on the worn floor of the playhouse.
TGB 居然也真的有这一款，你说刚刚玩的游戏吗？
Said I have to go to this stupid festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress, and I don't want to. All he cares about is working. He never wants to see me unless it's for his job. I'm not going. He can't make me.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the wilds of the garden. She was so young. She couldn't be expected to see that her dad was struggling too. It made me think. Had I really tried hard enough to understand my parents' point of view? I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Maybe I didn't care enough about leaving them behind. Leaving Izzy hiding in the garden, I walked around to the front of the house and rang the doorbell. It was only then I noticed my favorite overalls covered in grass stains. I scrubbed desperately, but it was too late.
Maria, what are you doing? What happened to your clothes?
I was, repairing a lawnmower.
How unusual. Well, do come in. The job I've got for you is a little more delicate.
Totally embarrassed, I walked into an orderly room filled with papers and ledgers. So this was his office. You must be so busy getting ready for the festival. Are you looking forward to it?
Of course. It's traditional for the mayor to judge food from every cafe and restaurant in town. I'll be declaring the best chef in Bella Riva by this time tomorrow. Speaking of which...
He unclipped the watch from his wrist and very carefully handed it to me.
I'll have a tight schedule to follow, but my watch stopped working a while ago. Could you see if you can make it tick again?
他的手表也摔破了。诶，
Are you sure it will all fit back together?
我是不是要先记好，等一下才放了回来？哎，要这样？哎，不用不用，
The main plate is
它分解
completely
了。
cracked. I'll need to replace it. The cogs look good though. If I'm careful, I can reuse those.
.还要赔人家一整个了吗？直接赔一只表，我修不好了。
I've not gone a day without this watch since my wife gave it to me.
.好像要想办法装回去是吧？怎么有？还是它这个原本的是碎掉的，好像换一个新的。哎，也不是啊。嗯？这个也是，哎，你就不要。 这大的好像就没用。可是它还是没有在动。是少了一个齿轮，那这边怎么会把它剩下一个？可是它看一下，是这里。它刚刚突然崩的就，它应该要会动，还是它没有做到这么细？我先装起来看，搞不好只是它没有做到会一直转而已。我觉得我可能没有修好。再打开一下。这个是已经修好了。哦，这里吧。有了，会动了。
As I handed the watch back to Joseph, my fingers traced over the engraving on the back. I hoped fixing this was one small way I could help him move forward.
I can't believe it's working, Maria. Thank you. My wife was a brilliant woman. Feeling this ticking on my wrist, it makes me feel like she's still here. Watches measure minutes and hours like they're infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. Even with Isabel, I barely see her. And when I do, she acts like she hates me.
Just then, the phone rang. Even when he was at home, his work was never done.
Sorry, Maria. I have to take this. I'll see you at the festival tomorrow.
As I left, I turned and saw him pacing the floor of his office, his watch glinting in the afternoon sun. I hoped its quiet ticking would at least bring him some peace during the busy days to come. When my last job of the day brought me to Carmen's apartment, the door was opened by someone I didn't expect to see, Helena.
Sorry for inflicting this mess on you. Carmen's never seen a knickknack she doesn't want to buy, apparently.
Carmen's apartment was a little chaotic, but totally charming. It was easy to imagine her living in a place like this. It definitely wasn't Helena's style. She seemed more upmarket than flea market. I wondered why she was even here.
We're having a clear out, or at least I am. Carmen's not helping, as usual. There's a market at the festival tomorrow. I'm selling some of these things. She says she has nothing when there's all this stuff right under her nose.
Helena stepped delicately past the items on the floor and reached down to pick up one from the pile.
Look at this slide projector. Our parents treasured it, but Carmen treats it like a piece of junk. Can you take a look?
放映机、投影那个叫什么？幻灯片吗？
Oh, typical. Carmen's even managed to get a slide stuck in here.
不不，哦，然后打开。应该说里面，他没有说要拿出来。
That light bulb is completely smashed. Okay, I'll need to redirect the light to the lens at the top for the projector to work.
这样有照到吗？怎么好像没有？他刚刚还有放一个假的放，就是混淆视听的放，就是放那个玻璃
I was
片
so
的地
excited
方。
when I moved to the city. Carmen, she looks so sad. Here's the clicker you'll need to attach. God knows how Carmen broke that as well.
"按钮。诶，
Looks like something is still missing.
他说看起来有东西不见，遥控器。
There's still a part I need to attach. Where does it go?
他这样说，感觉很像这个零件是卡在里面。诶，
When we were younger, Carmen was always following me around. I suppose she looked up to me. A cool older sister. She used to ask me when I was coming home, but I was always too busy.
下面这边还有一个卡的东西，但是它现在会动，应该就好了吧？诶，好了。
Looks like there's still a screw missing.
就好了。
Helena was transfixed, staring at the two young sisters the projector had brought glaringly into focus.
I never meant to let her down.
But you haven't, have you? You came all this way just to help with the cafe, plus the money.
That's the problem. There is no money. I lost my job a few months ago. My savings are almost gone. I have nothing. Carmen thinks I'll throw my checkbook at her bad decisions and make them okay. But I can't. Not this time. You know, the funny thing is, I came here wanting to tell her the truth. But she's so infuriating. How can I ask her for help when all she cares about is herself?
Helena fell silent, shrinking under the gaze of her younger self, projected onto the wall.
We drifted so far apart when I moved away. It felt like the only thing keeping us together was my bank balance. I know I have to tell her the truth. It isn't fair. But I already lost everything else. What if I lose her too?
The day of the festival finally came, and after all my hard work, I was ready to put down my tools and pick up a fork. The smell as I entered the main square was incredible. Each stall was selling food even more delicious than the last. The competition would start any minute. Most stall holders were waiting anxiously for the mayor to pay them a visit. All of them, that was, except Carmen, who was still frantically chopping vegetables and stirring pots.
Maria! Thank God you're here. Can I ask you the world's biggest favour?
Helena was supposed to help me run the stall today, but she never turned up. Probably too ashamed to show her face.
I can't believe she lied to me.
Carmen was stirring so furiously she was in danger of tipping the pot over altogether.
The mayor will be here any minute for the judging, but I'm almost out of my special.
哦，还没做好。
She wasn't really going to ask me, was she? Not on my day off.
I have a stove ready to build and everything. Can you set it up and make me a spare batch?
我要加班费。这是什么？这东西我没有看过哎。看起来不像。哦，是吗？野炊的锅子，好像是哎。
It all fits. Now to light the gas.
瓦斯。哦，瓦斯外泄，等一下，我太早，我应该要先点火吧。我弄了这么久，应该是这边全部的爆直接爆开才对，还好没有爆开。
I think that pot is really boiling now. Smells great if I say so myself. Here are the ingredients that Carmen's given me. What to add first?
我还要帮他煮菜。我可能一个什么？一个，元仔安安，这是哦，你的花椰菜会不会太绿了一点？花椰。 这不是啊，花椰菜丢下去不会变绿色好吗？这当我没煮过菜。还是
That looks good. I'll scoop a spoonful when I'm ready to serve.
可以吗？你确定？我先都丢下去再说。还有什么要做？我觉得这一关会失败。他说可以耶。
My part done, Carmen took over and added the finishing touches. It was just in time, as a moment later, Joseph arrived with Izzy in tow. Carmen anxiously handed them both a serving.
That was so tasty. Can I have some more, please?
哇，你真捧场。张江安。
You've certainly earned yourself a loyal customer in my daughter. We have a few more meals to taste, but so far you are one of the best. Good luck.
Joseph and Izzy looked so happy together. Maybe the festival was
奶
doing
茶
them some
进
good
太
after
晚
all.
了，只有水。
Carmen, on the other hand, seemed annoyed. But why, when it had all gone so well?
I wish Helena was here to see this. She's so convinced I'll never succeed at anything.
对，可是刚刚那一道菜是好像是我煮的。
She wants what's best for you. She's just not very tactful about it.
Yes, I know. Even when I was a kid, she pushed me when no one else did. I just wish she hadn't lied to me. But then, I've asked so much of her over the years. I never stopped to think how much she actually had to give.
The festival finished. I only had one day left before I had to catch my train and leave Bella Riva behind. I couldn't go without saying goodbye to Carmen. So, that evening, I made my way to the cafe. It was unrecognizable. She'd done it. Best food in Bella Riva. Half the town was outside waiting to see what the fuss was about.
Maria! My favorite sous chef. Come on through.
It was Carmen, acting every inch the successful cafe owner she deserved to be. Even Helena was there, serving the coffees. This was the last place I expected to see her after yesterday's drama. Carmen led me through to a balcony upstairs, where she brought out an old record player.
I found out where Helena was on the day of the festival. She was selling her camera to clear the cafe's debts. But then she didn't have much left for herself. So, I've asked her to come and stay with me for a while. We have a lot of catching up to do. I wanted to give her this, to cheer her up. We listened to it all the time when we were kids. Do you think it has one last tune in it?
Okay, let's see what happens when we turn this on. The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring. The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
接错了。
Here's the problem. This wiring isn't connected properly. If I turn the volume up, I should be able to hear it now.
这还有一个没有接到啊，还有一个东西。 这边还有个，这样应该是下一首的按键。
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
哦，我看到了。
I think that should do it. This record should play beautifully.
Oh, 我一直不小心把它放回去。
It's spinning the wrong way. How can I get it to play in the right direction? It must be to do with the motor. Let's see if one of these spares can turn things around.
哦，橡皮筋没有装。
This motor doesn't seem to work. Maybe I'll have better luck with a different one. Well, it's playing in the right direction. I should check it's turning at the correct speed.
What will remain of these days? The sweetest words I've ever heard.
The record player's crackling tune must have caught Helena's ear as she appeared a few moments later.
Is that my old record player? I can't believe you've kept it all these years, Carmen.
Leaning over the music, they looked just like the young sisters the slide projector had preserved all these years, inseparable once again. Carmen told me about your camera. That was a really generous thing to do.
I loved that camera, but I love my sister more. Now it's her time to be the person she wants to be. I'm going to stay here with her for a while. Make up for lost time.
Carmen and Helena's relationship wasn't suddenly going to be perfect, but they were both prepared to try. And to think, it had all started because of a call Carmen made about some seasoning tips. I guess in the end, maybe it wasn't so hard to just pick up the phone and dial. I hadn't spoken to my own parents in a year. I wanted to hear their voices more than anything. But the silence between us was so cavernous. I didn't know how I'd ever find the words to bridge it.
Oh.
My final morning in Bella Riva, I received one last call out to Joseph and Izzy's house. I knew I had to pack, but I figured I could squeeze in one final job before I had to leave. When I arrived, I found Joseph tidying up his wilderness of a garden. The playhouse was already cleared. Inside, I could see Izzy happily testing out her screw-driving skills on the back of her cassette deck.
You've made quite the impression. Izzy, tells me she's going to be a repairwoman like Maria.
I'm sure she could be anything she wanted if she put her mind to it.
She could. She's a brilliant child. Spending the day with her at the festival, I haven't had so much fun in ages. I wanted to give her something before she starts to forget.
Inside, the house was transformed, flooded with light and the sounds of the garden. It felt alive again. This would be my last repair in Bellariva, but it felt like it was the house that had really been restored.
It's a music box. It used to play beautifully, but now when I wind it up, nothing happens. I'd love for Izzy to hear it sing again.
音乐盒。
Maria, could you add this family picture of us?拆开。哦，啊？哦，这个小头体，我只是拿起来方式很奇怪，吓到。
This mechanism is completely broken. I'll need to take it all apart before I can fix it.哦，
现在应该算修好了吧？
Perfect. The mechanism is good as new.
车梯被我放回去了。
I think that's everything back together again. I should play it to make sure.
My wife used to sing this song to Izzy each night before bed, but I always worked too late to join them. Will you dream a dream for me? If I sit by your side and hold you so tight, know that I will always love you.
这款好玩，对啊。
I want to be the father my wife wanted me to be. I've ended up so much like my own father, working all the time. Izzy needs me more than that, especially now it's just the two of us. My daughter comes first. Well, until she gets bored of her stuffy old dad anyway.
I'll never ever get bored of you, Dad.
Izzy came running into the room where Joseph scooped her up and onto his shoulders. She gazed at the music box, her eyes shining. I'd never seen her look so happy.
Thank you, Maria, for everything. The things you fixed for me. I'm so glad to have them back.
Joseph was a good father, and I could tell he was determined to be an even better one. When it came down to it, that was all any of us wanted. A second chance to make something right. My time in Bellariva was almost over, but before I left, I knew there was something of my own I needed to fix.
去帮艾露开一下门。今天呢，最终章了，快玩完了。
My time in Bellariva was almost at an end. Another chapter finished in a story whose ending I hadn't felt ready to write. The people I'd met, the items I'd restored, they'd taught me so much about what was really important. Pulling out my suitcase from beneath the bed, I remembered the day I stole it from my parents' shop, the day I left. Afterwards, I was too ashamed to call them, to apologize. It was as I packed. I knew that it was up to me to find a way to lighten the load. Helena gave me these designer shirts. Not sure I'll pull them off as well as she does. my train ticket. Can't believe it's time to leave Bellariva behind. Joseph's idea of light reading for the train. It does look thorough.
是不是我一开始修的录音带？啊？哦，不是，这是那个开头最开头的。
Soundtrack to my travels. I'll be listening to this on the journey. My parents would love Bellariva. Maybe I can convince them to make the trip. Izzy gave me this in exchange for my repair manual. She'll be a pro in no time. The recipe for Carmen's special. I'm under strict instructions to guard it with my life.
等我感觉他还没讲完话，他就突然跳完成了。
My suitcase was full, but it was my heart that felt heavy as I made my way to the station. I was sorry to be leaving Bellariva behind, but I hoped that in my own small way I'd made a difference. My suitcase was full, but it was my Elena and Carmen's reunion was possible because they'd learned to overcome their differences. Joseph had realized he shouldn't let his grief or his work get in the way of his relationship with Izzy. They'd each learned to see things from someone else's perspective. Maybe it was time I saw things through my parents' eyes. I knew it would be easier to jump on the next train, put even more distance between us, but I finally felt ready to talk to them. And did I even remember their number? I wasn't sure until I reached for the phone and it all came flooding back. Mom? Dad?
Maria? Is that you?
Dear Maria, Carmen here. Sorry I haven't written. The cafe's been absolutely manic since you left. Luckily, I have Helena here to help. You wouldn't recognise her. She's like a new woman. She's always running around, taking orders and making drinks. I even heard her compliment a customer on their outfit. Personally, I draw the line at fluorescent green bowling shirts, but each to their own. It certainly made the customer smile. She misses the city, though. Bellariva's many things, but it's definitely not as chic as she'd like. She said there was a coffee shop near her old apartment where they made coffee with a shape drawn on top. It got me thinking, I'm an award-winning chef. I can figure out how to put a leaf on a cappuccino. A bit of cosmopolitan coffee might be just what Helena needs. Of course, ordering a new coffee machine was the easy part. I wish you could have seen the mess I got into trying to put the thing together. I saw Maria use her screwdriver a million times. Taking this apart will be easy. These pipes look pretty simple. I should start with them. I'll need to connect all the pipes correctly to stop the steam pouring out.
哎、
Finally, no more steam.
正常应该不会在都是蒸汽的状况下修理。哎，它怎么装好了？刚刚不是没有装吗？哦，应该要先接。电接一，哦，发现它会亮灯。哦，
Are all of these parts supposed to go in there? I think that's everything. Better test the buttons, just to make sure. All done. Piece of cake. Time to make my first coffee, I think.
旁边那一只是什么？晚安。
Smells delicious. Now to make it look magical. perfect coffee. All it needs is a saucer and a couple of Helena's favourite biscuits.
这图案真的可以吗？这图案可能不太行。
I was feeling more has-been than coffee queen by the time I'd made a drink fit for human consumption. It looked a bit, postmodern, but knowing Helena's refined tastes, I hope she'd think it was intentional. Always the connoisseur. She didn't even bother to look at it at first. She was so busy wafting it under her nose. Steamed up her glasses, of course. How was she going to see my work when she finally spotted it, though? She was totally impressed. I'll admit, she spent several minutes trying to figure out exactly what it was I'd drawn. She decided it was probably a horse. Well, what she doesn't know won't hurt her. She was impressed enough to ask for another one. I guess I'll need to get some practice in. The whole thing was such hard work, Maria. I never realised how difficult it was, all that mechanical stuff. It made me realise how much I have to thank you for, so I wanted to say that now. Better latte than never. Hoping you're well. Your friend, Carl.
就还多一个卡门的信。那刚刚在玩13章就已经有那个这样完结了，这样我应该破关了吧？小品游戏还蛮好玩的。我今天才看到我没有把我的 Switch 摇杆收起来，要人提醒我。好，我要关台了，大家拜拜，大家晚安。